Hey, Jim Hoffman here for EMS Hours. This is your Monday Minutes. Today is episode 14. Gonna be a really quick episode. This is because we're sort of into kind of a in between before we start really getting into some really more foundational parts of A&P, and also moving into other areas of EMS and paramedics and all that good stuff. Okay, so what, of course, I want to always talk about is why is this important? And even though today is kind of a short session, and the content here you might not see as much on a EMS exam, it's still important stuff. And again, these are some key elements I'm going to bring today. But if you need more information, or you feel that you're not comfortable with this subject matter, go ahead and crack open that EMS book, get online, join a membership site like TurboMedic, or visit other websites out there that can give you this information. Search it out, okay, and understand it, because it's all going to come back to you when it comes to things like your exam prep, with your documentation, your presentations, your clinical impressions. I mentioned this all before, right? Every week I talk about the same thing, why this stuff is important, and I just want to keep on kind of hammering this, guys, because it is important. I think as you take these Monday Minutes and you get more and more familiar with this stuff, you're going to really realize how it does all tie together, and you're going to realize as well how important this is. And when you're taking your test, you're going to say, hey, I remember when that Jim Hoffman told me this is going to be on a test, or he said this is going to be something I might see one day, and sure enough, you'll see it. All right, so let's get started today. We're talking about the lymphatic and immune systems, and again, very quick and a nice quick overview of these two systems. Okay, lymphatic, this is their primary function here. It's going to be absorbing fat that's coming from the intestines, and it's trying to trap infectious organisms like bacteria or viruses. Okay, simple, to the point. Again, you might not get too much deep into this on an exam, but you might see something that talks about the lymphatic system and what it does, okay? Or whose job it is, what system job it is to trap bacteria and viruses, okay? And this is probably going to be one of the choices. So this is what I'm talking about. As far as it being quick, sure, but at the same time, we have to know the key elements here so that if you do see it on a test, it'll kind of ring a bell for you. The other one is the immune system. Okay, we all know this. It defends your body from bacteria, viruses, other foreign bodies and foreign matter that can get you sick, right? And there's two types, and this is where you're going to have to kind of remember this. It's the non-specific type and the specific type. Non-specific are barriers like your skin, and chemicals and leukocytes. All right, now your specific parts are antigens and cell-mediated immunity, your lymphocytes. And this is the stuff where you build that immunity to things because you've been exposed to them in the past. Okay, so that's specific. Your body's specifically immune to something like your chickenpox or the vaccinations that you get, right? It builds up that immunity to that disease or to that virus or bacteria, okay? So that's more specific, all right? And, of course, we all know AIDS patients are going to have a problem with this sort of specific cell-mediated immunity, all right? So just take a quick look at this, guys, and just remember the non-specific way the immune system works and the specific way that the immune system works, okay? Again, very quick episode today, but I wanted to cover these two sections here. And the immune system is really a much bigger presentation. I encourage you to really get into your textbook and kind of review the immune system and review the lymphocytes and the antigens as well, as we're going to tie in a little bit later on. You talk about anaphylaxis and stuff like that, right? All right. So, as promised, next week, we're going to keep moving on, and we're going to talk about the respiratory system, all right? And this is where I think you're going to really find it much more interesting and we're going to really start tying into, how this stuff is working in the body and all, ventilation, oxygenation, respiration, how oxygen saturation works. All great stuff. And again, this is going to be key elements, stuff you can see on tests and whatnot, but it's going to, I think, going to start really touching much bigger nerves for you when it comes to what you're seeing out there every day in the field and what you're going to see more of on exams. So next week we start with the respiratory system. I'm excited about that, and I hope you will be as well, and I hope we'll see you then when we do that. All right, guys, as always, I hope you can use these Monday Minutes. I know this is a quick one. Didn't get too in-depth here. But if you have some minutes of your own, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to get some suggestions on what you want to see on a Monday Minutes. Be sure to send them over to me. It is contact@emsofficehours.com. And as always, don't forget the quick study guide. Guys, a bunch of you taking me up on this download, and I'm going to tell you, people love this guide. It's very basic, of course. It condenses that gigantic textbook you have into about 100 or so pages, but it covers all the key elements, and this is really a great guide to use before you start preparing for an exam to kind of figure out where you're weak. And it's also great to use when night before a test to kind of hammer home the key elements. And then if maybe you overlook something or not that quite strong, you can quickly go to your textbook and review that before exam time. All right, so go check this out. Click here and get some more information on that. All right, guys, again, thanks so much. Be sure to send any questions or comments over to me. That email, again, it's contact@emsofficehours.com. Until next time, as always, I am Jim Hoffman. This is the Monday Minutes. Stay safe.